Hello again. We're going to look now at step 2 of incomplete records control account method, where we find the value of the firm's sales. So step 2, sales. We're going to find the cash sales first, and we're going to do that using a cash account, because typically in these questions, that's where you're going to find the cash sales. You could also look in our bank account, so watch out for that just in case there is a question where cash sales will appear in the bank account, because after all, remember, all we mean by cash sales is that they're paid for straight away. So as I say, typically in these questions, you'll find the cash sales from the cash account. As we saw in our earlier video, finding the opening capital, the firm started off with cash worth 400 here at the start of the year. And then during the year, they made those cash payments. They transferred 110,000 to the bank. They paid general expenses of 45,800, and they purchased goods for 86,200. That will be our cash purchases. We'll see later. The question also tells us that the owner, Murphy, took cash of €120 per week for household expenses or for drawings during the year. And then at the end of the question, we find that the firm has €600 in cash in the till. We put all of that information together now in our cash account, in our so-called step 2. So let's look at our cash sales account here. I've credited the cash sales account with the 3 payments, the transfer to the bank, the general expenses, the purchases. I've also credited the cash account with the €120 for 52 weeks that the owner took for his or her own use. That's the drawings. And I've also shown here on the last entry here on the credit side, the balance to be carried forward is 600 going into next year, so that we'll start next year with €600 in the till. So in all, we have spent 248,840 from the cash account. There was only €400 to begin with at the start. Therefore, we must have got money from somewhere. And of course, that's from cash sales. So we work out the difference between the two sides is the cash sales, 248,440. Alternatively, if you just wanted to use arithmetic, we spent €110,000 by transferring money from the cash to the bank. We spent another 45,800 on general expenses. We paid 86,200 for cash purchases. Add to that the money the owner took each week for drawings and the €600 that we have left at the end of the year, from which we'll take the €400 opening balance. And that tells us that, therefore, the cash sales must have been 248,600. And we'll put that figure into our trading account. We move on then to our credit sales, which will be solved using our debtors control account. Going back to the start of the question here, we recall that at the start of the year, the debtors owed us 18,000. We'll see here in our bank lodgements that during the year, the debtors paid us 34,000. And at the end of the year, the debtors still owe us 20,200. So we'll put that information into a so-called debtors control account. At the start of the year, we have an opening balance in our debtors control account because debtors are an asset. And on the credit side, we show them paying us €34,000. It's gone into our bank account. We're crediting the debtors because they're giving, and we'll debit the bank account. And then, at the end of the year, they still owe us 26,400. Now, we must explain that figure there. The balance in our final paragraph for debtors is 20,400, but the question does tell us that on the 31st of December, goods with a sales value of 6,000 had been sold on credit at a markup on cost of 20%, and they hadn't been recorded in the book. So we're missing 6,000 from our debtors at the end of the year. Consequently, I changed the debtors figure from the 20,400 to 26,400. The difference between the two sides must be our credit sales. That's our opening balance starting off next year for debtors of 26,400. Alternatively, without using debit and credit, you could look at it in a slightly different way. You could say that during the year, our customers paid us 34,000. At the end of the year, they still owe us the 26,000. That's the 20,400 plus the 6,000 we omitted. At the start of the year, they owed us 18,000. So that must mean that we sold them 42,400 euro worth of sales. Again, they paid us 34,000 and still owe us 26,400. And at the start of the year, they owed us 18,000. Therefore, we must have sold them 42,400 euro on credit. And I've added those together there, cash sales and credit sales, giving us the total of the sales for the trading account to 290,840.